Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh Singh and in this video we shall discuss the current affairs and guess it for today, that is 21st of January 2022. Before we begin this conversation, let me welcome all the participants here. We have Hima, good evening to you. Amlan, hi. Hi Akhila, welcome. Hello Hima. Hi Babani. Netra, Sagarika, Kriti, good evening to you. Hello peace lover. Sam, good evening to you. Not finding an answer from your end. Looking at answers from all the other people here, but not your end. Why so? All right. Then we have other people. Ashish, good evening to you. Good evening, Jyotish. Good evening to all the other people joining right now. Mamta, good evening to you. And people who are right now offline, viewing later, good evening to you as well. Try attempting the questions that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Many of them relate to what we discussed. Many of them relate to what is in the current affairs. And you mere thinking that you can do it is a possibility that you can do it. So try attempting, write something, exercise your brain. And this is how we will at least begin starting to know or getting the taste of what is answer writing about, right? So good evening to Ravi as well. Now I see earlier I used to post one question and now there is a side effect of that question as well, a secondary question, and then in the limited time you people answer that. It's very good. You also look at each other's answers. So this is a very good movement. The point being that in a limited frame of time, can we exercise our mind towards one question and then maybe 3 questions at one go, and then after that 10 questions and 20, because this is what is something that happens to people in the main examination. So I'm just giving you a taste of it, right? So great that you have participated. Let's begin this conversation right now. Today we have some very interesting articles in your daily guide to UPSC current affairs. The first one is some amendments proposed by the central government to IS cadre rules. We will understand what are these cadres and what are the rules about. The second one is digital payment index in our country, and this has only gone above in the last 3 years, right? The third one is on flag code of India, why it has been released right now, why the government instructs right now. We will understand some details about it. This day in history dedicated to the states of Tripura, Manipur and Meghalaya, because it is their foundation day today. In the year 1972, they got formed as states. Before that, union territories or a part of another state. Feature news for today is on a very important topic, nuclear risk in a multipolar world. This question that I shared with you, that was related to this theme itself. We will understand in this article complete understanding about the present nuclear regime, what was there in the past, why the present regime now tries to diversify proliferation alongside declaring that they will not proliferate. So we will understand the world politics here. We will also go ahead to understand what should be the ideal state of affairs. So this is in the feature news immediately after this conversation. I will also be replying to your inputs that you have provided right here later, right, in the next video on the same topic, right? Image of the day on ancient highways discovered in Saudi Arabia. Terms and concepts, the 4 terms that we have for today: Eastern swamp deer, hybrid terrorist, Sarthi app and exercise million. 3 editorials that we have, the one on nuclear arms itself to be synced with the feature news today, and then demographic sweet spot, and the third one on data equity. Today's case study is on the ambulance couple from Delhi. So let's begin this conversation. The first snapshot. Hi Asim, no worries, it's fine. Today's first snapshot is on proposed amendments to the IS cadre rules. See, this directly relates to people like you who are preparing for the civil service examination. What happens is when we get through the exam, UPSC exam, when we actually clear the main examination comprises of written and personality test. When we clear that exam, we get into the service for our training. But right during the training times, we are also given cadres depending on what kind of service we are in. So largely there are 2 kinds of service: all India service, and the second one is central civil services. Central services, right? So all India services are those services in which cadres are allotted, right? So we are posted to various states. For example, a civil servant may be offered a specific cadre, Rajasthan cadre. It is dependent on their rank in the examination. It is dependent on the availability or number of seats in that particular state with that particular category. Are they an insider of the state, or outsider, various reasons for this. But yes, they are allotted a particular state or a particular cadre where they perform, right? There are other cadres, not only referring to particular state, but agmut. For example, this is Arunachal, Goa, Mizoram, and Union Territories, agmut cadre. So there are Assam, Meghalaya is another cadre together. So officers will be posted in that particular state, or if required, the union government will depute them, call them for deputation service under central government, or request them to serve under another state, or post them abroad, or whatever be the reason, right? Or contingency management, or give them to autonomous organizations under Government of India, partially fully controlled by it. So this is All India services, originally for 3 services only: IAS, IPS, Police Service, Administrative Service, and Indian Forest Service, not Foreign Forest Service, right? Another exam held for this. Pre-exam is same, mains mein alag time hota hai. So 3 services: IAS, IPS, and IFOS, right? Not foreign, but forest. These are All India services. And then we have central services, right? Central services are the one where we are allotted amongst all these 22, 23 services, right? There are around 20 services which are allotted, and these services, in these services, we are posted all throughout the country: postal services, defense estate, civil accounts, defense accounts, right? Then we could be posted in the 3 railway services, the 3 of them: railway accounts, railway traffic, railway personnel. Then we have revenue services, right? Both of them, anywhere throughout the country. One day we are posted in Jodhpur, another day we might be in Cuttack, another day we might be in a place called as Solapur in Maharashtra. It is totally dependent on the tenure and the time, the kind of service that we do, and the requirements of the government. So the central civil services, as the name itself suggests, central government is the one, ministries are the one which keep posting them. But when people are posted to All India services, they are allotted to various states. The states has the right to understand where these people are best suited inside that state. But there are some changes in the rules which the central government has proposed. That is why in news. So earlier, see, whenever a person, IS officer, there are around 5,000 IS officers around the country. There are around 5,000 IPS officers around the country. There are around 600 foreign services officers in the country or abroad. Point I am trying to mention is that there are limited number of officers. Ab dekho, we have 700 districts only, 650, 700 districts. DM has to be mostly is an IS officer or a promotee, right? And then we have so many secretaries, around 50 secretaries in every state. All of them have to be IS officers or promotees. And then we also have additional secretaries, chief secretary, and then there is complete hierarchy of officers. They always fall short. Right? They fall short with the state, and they also fall short with the central government. But central ke paas, there is no cadre of its own for IAS or IPS. They have to take people, resources, human resources from these state services only. So till now, they had been, what is the arrangement? There's an arrangement in which there is central government involved, state government involved, right? Multiple state governments, and the person themselves involved, right? So if the person actually wants to go, this is one criteria. The other criteria is the central government approves it. This is one. The second one is the state which has this officer, this personnel, the state has to approve, and where they are going to get posted, that person or that institution also has to approve. It could be another state, it could be an autonomous organization under government, for example Delhi Metro, for example any other organizations which are autonomous working, for example Doordarshan itself. So the CEO of Doordarshan is usually an IAS officer. So all the state, agar मान लो वो उनको Kerala cadre के IAS officer थे, they got released from here, state has to approve, center has to approve the posting, and the Doordarshan also has to accept them, provided the person accepts. This was the regimen followed till now. But now the central government says that there is a shortage of officers in the central cadre, and it has also given, news has also given statistics, data, kitne kam pad rahe hain. So for that same reason, central government says that if state government is failing to provide within a limited time frame, the officers, the central government can take unilateral measures to call that IS officer or IPS or forest service officer for their service, right? And earlier there were less provisions for contingency management. For example, when there is a emergency, right? Emergency to handle For example, a person who knows how to conduct serious fraud investigation is a part of Bihar cadre. Just an example. And a serious fraud has occurred, but the government of Bihar is not allowing them to leave the state. So the central government can apply these emergency measures to be able to for disaster management, for security of the state. So there are certain things which now the central government says we will bring some amendments in the rules so that we can exercise this unilateral measure. State will oppose or not? This is my question. Of course, state will oppose because this is against their federal values. Their resources are being taken away from them, right? So this is the prime reason. So according to the rules which have mentioned previously, there needs to be consonance between the provider state, the central government. But right now, the government says that it can take unilateral measures on these, right? This is what we have updated right here, right? The officer, so this is the point here that I mentioned, right? If the state government delays the posting, right, the officer shall stand relieved from the cadre of the date as may be specified by the central government. See? This is one point. The second one is that the center will decide the actual number of officers to be deputed to the central government. The center will decide, right? Now, till now, the situation was such that it cannot be more than 40% of the cadre strength. Agar 100 log posted hain in Telangana, 100 IS officers, not more than 40 can be deputed. But now the central government says we will decide on this. Of course, this number mostly will not be above 40, but then merely saying that the central government will decide, this is questionable and this has been questioned by the state governments, right? This is the second point. So, and in case of any disagreement, who will decide? Center will decide. So this is the point that has been mentioned here, right? So these amendments have been proposed because there are many states where in proportion to the center, the cadre strength is good in states. Center का कोई cadre ही नहीं होता है. They only come for deputation for a while, 5 years or extendable tenure. So CBI director, IB, the officers in the IB, the senior most officers in the IB, police officers or ED, all of them are from some of the other services. So CBI director is a IPS officer. IB, 4-star ranked officer is from the police. And ED, the officer is from revenue services. They are from central services. They can be posted out and in any time. But these people are drawn from some of the other states only, no? The principal secretary of the prime minister, the cabinet secretary, all of these are senior officers who are only part of some of the other states. So center says that such officers, senior level officers, mid-level officers, we have had a severe shortage. So only 10% of mid-level IS officers posted with the union government in 2021, and this has been a sharp fall. 20% tha pehle, 6-7 saal pehle it was 20%, and it has now fallen to 10%, half the number. Mid-level means joint secretary rank, right? So I think that are you aware of the hierarchy or the ranks in IS? If you're not, you must be aware because you're preparing for an exam like that, right? So very simply I can share quickly. JDU है ना, Janata Dal United political party. Joint secretary, deputy secretary, under secretary, and then we have additional secretary, and then we have chief secretary, right? So these are the actual ranks: under secretary, deputy, joint, additional secretary, chief secretary, and then we have cabinet secretary, right? So the hierarchy is similar in the state government and the central government. Obviously, there are other ranks also below or in addition to these ranks, right? In addition to these ranks, if they're posted in the field duties, this is in the ministries. When they're posted to field duties, they start with a rank of SDM, right? And then they are promoted to ADM, and then they become a DM or DC, and then and after that, after some field experience, they are transferred to the ministries as well, right? So very senior IS officers are into legislation, preparation of the legislations or assisting the ministry. But executive, mid-level officers or junior officers in the executive, right? Because only when we know how things work can we frame it to be able to change it for better, right? All right. So what are you people saying? You say IFS is most elite among civil services. All right. Federalism, good. Against cooperative federalism, I agree. This eventually leads to state government properly conducting state PCS. Yes. So this is why state has got its own PCS exam and it has got its promotee officers as well. But state kitna exam conduct karta hai? We all know the most disciplined exam is the Union Civil Services examination. All right. UPSC don't have any say. UPSC has a say in recruitment, not in postings. Recruitment and even in case of any disputes in service, it is not UPSC which has to handle it. It is CAT, right? Tribunal for civil servants, CAT, Central Administrative Tribunal. All right. But it's not for foreign service, forest. UPSC is only for recruitment. All right. All right. Okay. Going ahead to the second snapshot. This is on Digital Payments Index 2021. See, yesterday only we discussed about telephony services in India. To mention one small stat, India exports $4 billion of the telephone hardware equipment, right? So smartphones, lower end smartphones, or the simple smartphones, this is what we export. And this is far good development as compared to what we had previously. But when we compare this to a country like Vietnam, $60 billion. Compare it to a country like China, $300 billion plus. See the difference? Export of these telecom services. So point being, digital payments are increasing in our country, but our capacity to manufacture or export is not increasing at the same pace, right? This is the point. This is a quick analysis that I'm making. Please do note it down. This is not a part of this, but yes, that is the reason I provide additional information alongside. So digital payments index in India, this by RBI, it mentions that the digital payments have only gone up since the month of March 2018. March 2018 ko they set a base index at 100 and now it is gone 304 right now in the month of September 2021. That means a 3 times jump in digital payment index. It has been facilitated in our country because of certain measures, right? So financial payments have become easier, and if you remember, we had studied the concept of account aggregator. याद है आपको? Account aggregator in the feature news, complete feature news on account aggregator. These are those authorities which are going to ensure that the whole financial ecosystem is synchronized. मेरे पास 4 बैंक अकाउंट हैं, मैं पेमेंट 10 जगह करता हूँ, मूवी हॉल्स, राइट, पेइंग टू द फ्रूट वेंडर, द सब्जी वेंडर, शॉपकीपर्स, milk shops, all of them, and I pay through all these accounts, right? And I have also not paid loan of 2 lakh rupees somewhere. So my credit worthiness is not known to everybody. So knowing the credit worthiness, knowing my payments, knowing my taxation history, knowing what are my salary or what are my earnings, all of them will be aggregated at one place. Account aggregator. This is what they will do. Not that they will share all this information with everybody, but yes, when I'm seeking an insurance service for myself, when I'm taking a loan, then all these data which is integrated at one place, it will be seeked, right? After my permission, only because I'm seeking a service, government will be authorized to take in some data. So they will be integrating all financial data at one place. They have said that we will provide more services, better services. And see, this is what account aggregator of medical services may be aega. Medical services maybe we will have an account aggregator who will know our complete history of what medicines we have taken, where we have got our prescription done, which hospitals we recommended to, so that one's holistic health is handled, right? So when we look at financial system, getting back to financial system, so what are the things? The payment enabler. There are 5 components which have enabled this digital payment index growth. 5 components. So one component is payment enablers. कितना है? Bheem है, Paytm है, Amazon है. There's so many. जितना add करो उतना कम है. ठीक? Payment infrastructure demand side, right? So debit card, credit card, fast tags, so many services available from demand side. And supply side, look at the supply of it, right? Point of sale terminal, QR codes, ये सब नए supply side infrastructure have come up, which have facilitated it. And payment performance, right? And consumer centricity. Yesterday only, 2 days back, we studied, that the RBI has completed record 96% plus, successful transactions of ombudsman scheme, 96%. See, consumer centric. ये example है. So getting reminded on examples whenever I ask you a point. अब we will raise our standards slowly and steadily, because you 20 of you who are watching me online and participating, I want that whenever you present a point to the question that I have posed. So when you present a point, for example, increase in war. If you want to propose a point, increase in war, you have to give an example side by side. Give me an example or a data, either of it. जब भी answer you're writing comments, no? So increase in war, this is a point. Along with that, either an example or a data. This is it. Because now everybody is doing EDIC. That's good. So we will raise our standards here. Okay? Okay. So this is what is the thing. These 5 things have aided it. सबको याद करने की जरूरत नहीं है, but example important है आपके लिए. Alright, just when I mentioned the examples of consumer centricity, or the payment infrastructure that is available, or the supply side infrastructure, QR codes, point of sale terminals, all these, some examples here, right? So digital payments in India have only increased with time. We have provided number of times that 1 billion transactions on UPI, all those things, right? All right. So they were only to indicate that we have increased our transactions, right? Okay, this is good. The third one is Flag Code of India. It is the season of the national festival, our Republic Day, 26th January. And because of this, the government has released, some instructions on the national flag code. For example, if you look at the flag of India, this flag, there are parts of the national flag code. For example, one of the parts, there are 3 segments to it. One of the segment talks about some general things about the flag itself, right? For example, its dimensions. 2:3. 3 colors, Bhagwa, Safed, and what is the third color? What is the third color? Is it green? Is it olive green? What is the color? Please put that in the comments. Ashok Chakra at center, blue colored with 24 spokes. अब इसमें 22 नहीं होनी चाहिए, 18 नहीं होना चाहिए. This will be a disrespect to the national flag. This is one of the components of the flag code. There is another component of where it can be displayed: private places, public places, office places, where all. And the third set of instructions about its usage again, right? So this is the national flag code released, पहले ही निकाला गया है, but making people aware is more important so that we do not disrespect the national flag. All right. So let us quickly go through this beautiful snapshot. All right. So it says that ahead of Republic Day, the Home Ministry has issued advisory to state and union territories, right? अब देखो जैसे कि simple examples, I have seen so many. We would have seen in so many cricket matches or otherwise, people wear undergarments of UK's flag. This is not allowed in our country. We can't wear a shirt with Indian tricolor. We can't have the tricolor hoisted ulta. We can't have the green thing, the green thing upar and the orange niche. We can't do that. We can't, it is to ensure dignity of the flag. For example, the flag cannot be put at a lower ground. The flag should not touch the ground. While being hoisted, it cannot be hoisted suddenly. It has to go up in a gentle manner. It has to come down in a gentle manner. So these are the part of national flag code, and it has to be respected. Suppose if a flag, it gets dirty or it is soiled, if it is of paper, it is torn. It cannot be discarded in public. It cannot be put in dustbins. It has to be burnt at a private place. So there are certain set of instructions, and then there are other set of instructions. For example, what happens when a national dignitary passes away? The flag has to be hoisted half mast बोलते हैं ना, half mast. But if it coincides with a day like 26th January or 15th August, these are days of reverence for our country, right? These are the national festivals. वो तो personal festivals हो गए, Diwali, Eid, Christian, then we have Xmas. These are, and the birthdays of the gurus. So, but this is the national festival, right? Festival of integrity. So, if there is a coincidence between the a national mourning day and a national festival will take precedence over this. So these are some set of codes government has passed. For example, क्या हम गाड़ी पे लगा सकते हैं अपनी private गाड़ी पे? No, these things are not actually allowed, right? So there are some instructions which have been given. Let us quickly go through them, right? So conduct, see, there has to be a code of conduct, right? Because the flag has a position of honor. It has to be displayed hamesha upar, above ourselves. We cannot place the flag below us, right? So speaker's platform, when a speaker is here and the speaker is speaking here, unke right pe hona chahiye. It has to be on the right. When a person is participating in a parade and the flag is also a part of it, it's to be on the right or at the center of it. Similarly, used in funerals, yes, it can be used with half-mast only for state dignitaries, right? Wherever the state or the government approves, right? So, for example, the passing away of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, right? So that was a day of mourning. So half-mast, आधे पे झंडा उड़ रहा था, right? Flag code of 2022 divides in 3 parts. The first part is on the tricolor. The second one is on display of flag in public-private bodies, and the third in rules for government and government bodies. All right. So this is one. Is there a restriction of display in private organizations? No, there is no restriction on this, provided it is not insulting the flag, right? It cannot be used for commercial purposes, right? It cannot be used as festoon. अब decoration नहीं बना सकते हैं flag का. You can't have a tricolor flag in the form of a garland and put it around the neck of somebody, right? So this is not allowed, right? And how to discard, preferably by burning or consistent method with the dignity of the flag. Destroyed in private. Paper flags पड़ा हुआ है जमीन पर, कितनी बार मैंने उठाया है? You have to pick it up. You have to pick it up and discard it in a private place, right? All right, burning. And in fact, the national flag can only be actually created by certain people, right, who have been given BIS accreditation. Not everybody. अब market में मिल रहा है तो अलग बात है. People are earning little money out of it, but not by anybody can it be created. All right. So this is it. All right. Somik says Union versus Naveen Jindal 2004. All right. Great, Somik. Looks like you are from law background. All right. Green. 3:2 length. Good, Somik. So Surya says last year RBI proposed that account aggregator. Good, Surya. Good to know. We have also covered it. What else? Then Ashish says Neeraj Chopra folded our national flag and kept it nicely after his celebrations post-winning. See, Ashish, this is what we have to observe. Very good observation. So whenever these athletes, whenever they also unfurl the flag or they hoist it or they run along with it when they win a medal, look at the way example has been presented. Very nice example Ashish has presented. He says Neeraj Chopra folded the national flag and kept it nicely after the celebrations post winning the medal. Good, very good. All right. So Somik says Naveen Jindal won the case to hoist flag 24/7 in private places in 2004. Before that, hoisting flag was permitted. Okay. There's another thing. There's something called as hoisting of flag, beating reveille and beating retreat. Have you heard of this term? Beating reveille and beating retreat. So there are times when the flag has to be hoisted and the times when the flag has to be brought back. In the mornings it has to be hoisted, and in the evenings, sundown, it has to be brought back, right? These are some of the traditional things which we follow in the war times. War में ना flag hoist करते थे and then फिर नीचे लाते थे. So this practice is also followed at many places. Even when you look at the Rashtrapati Bhavan at the time of dusk, so they will bring down the flag, right? And there are places where they do it in a ceremonious manner. For example, Rashtrapati Bhavan, ceremonious manner, and everybody is invited to watch. Similarly, there are places at Indo-China border in Sikkim. There it is done. We have a border in Amritsar, right? There also it is done. What is the name of that border? What are the names of the two borders? जो Sikkim में है and the one in near Amritsar. What are the names? Please put them down in comments. All right. This day in history dedicated to foundation day of Tripura, Manipur, and Meghalaya. These 3 states, beautiful states. And they were formed in the year 1972. Before this, integration of these states were there with the union, but they were union territories, or for example, Meghalaya was a part of Assam beforehand, right? So they go again statehood for themselves on this day, January 21, 1972. All right. Now this is where I have told you repeatedly, Northeast ke demarcations of map you must know, right? Do you know? Okay, let me ask you a question. Does the state of Tripura does it border with the Nagaland? Please answer my question. Does the state of Tripura border with the state of Nagaland? Does it? This is one. My second question is, does the state of Mizoram, does it border with the state of Assam? Now, I'm purposefully asking these questions because this is where the conflict arises, right? Assam borders all the states, but all the states do not border each other. And I'm asking those neighboring states only, but yes, there is a technicality here. Tripura and Nagaland and Assam and Mizoram. Let's look at it. This is why I ask you to draw this map by yourself once so that you remember all the intricate details, right? So Tripura is this state. It does not border Assam at all, does it? Or it does? Yes, it does. See, Assam borders all of them, but Tripura would not border Meghalaya. Similarly, when we have Mizoram, does it border Nagaland? It does not. So Arunachal, Nagaland, Manipur, and Mizoram, Tripura, Meghalaya, Assam, the seven sisters, and then we have a Sikkim here. Draw it by yourself, the internal boundaries as well. Start drawing the boundaries of the other part of the country as well, right, in the map. This is how you will be able to clearly identify whether these states demarcate each other or not, right? There are complexities about Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Haryana and Delhi as well. Which of them border each other? You see, it's a very, very intricate detail, but it is important. पूछ देंगे ये लोग एग्जाम्स में कभी, and state वाले एग्जाम्स में तो बिल्कुल ही पूछ सकते हैं, right? State, SSC exams. And what I share, no, this is not only important for UPSC, the general content is also relevant for general awareness also. Feature news for today is on nuclear risk in a multipolar world. We will understand the complete scenario of the conventional warfare and how there is a complete commerce behind nuclear risks. We will understand this in details when we discuss the CSE report. We will also understand what is happening around the world, multipolarity and proliferation, despite saying that we will not proliferate, about the P5 nations, right? What is the ideal state of affairs? Beautiful discussion in the featured news. All right. Image of the day on a site in Saudi Arabia, which was already discovered, but up geospatial techniques, it was found that this site existed for the last. So the relevance of the site was found after geospatial understanding from the satellites, that it's a big area. And this site is around 4 to 4,500 years old, right? These are burial sites where these moulds are created, and there's also a pathway. There's a pathway which also indicates that they were trading routes as well. Very interesting places in Saudi Arabia which have now been limelighted. They existed earlier, people knew about it, but now brought back to increased relevance. Saudi Arabia. The terms that we have for today. All right. Let me see the comments. Okay, very good that you people have responded here. All right. Ravi says, oh, quite a few comments. Let me quickly glance through. Ashutosh, what is the code for anthem? National anthem. Okay, very good, very interesting. See, do you know the length of the national anthem? It has to be sung within a specific amount of a specific duration itself. And about the all right, I think I will need to study a little more. I acknowledge that I don't know everything about the national anthem. And in fact, we also have to segregate what is the meaning of national anthem. I remember that we have to do that. I'll put it in the list. Ashutosh, thank you for asking this. We will discuss this. Okay, Hima says, Mamta, yes, before sunset, before sunrise and sun. Okay, good. Good evening, Ashmita. Atari border. All right, Atari is not the border. Atari is the last railway station, Ravi. The border is Wagha village, right? All right, good. All right, Nathula, Ashmita, great. Nathula Pass, India, that is Sikkim. Then we have Bhutan and China, right? Nathula Pass, very good. That is the second one. All right, you guys have answered it. Very good. Chalo, अच्छा है that you people know. Ashmita also spoke about Delhi, UP, not Uttarakhand. Okay. 52 seconds. All right, not 56, 52. Great. We will discuss about this. We will discuss the code for national anthem as well. Okay. Terms and concepts for today. The first one is Eastern swamp deer. Eastern swamp deer. This is the one, and the population of this deer has actually decreased in Assam, in काजीरंगा नेशनल पार्क, दिस इज एंडेमिक टू दैट प्लेस. एंडेमिक मतलब कि वहीं पर मिलता है. It's not found at all other places. And why has it decreased? Is it the primary prey to the tigers there? No, it is not. The primary prey is other kind of species, right? But the population is now decreased to around 500 only 500 swamp deer, eastern swamp deer. Mind you, there are other kind of swamp deer as well, right? So we have western swamp deer, southern swamp deer, and this is the eastern swamp deer that we are talking of, right? Achha, do you know the difference between deer and I'll discuss that some other day. So the population has decreased, right? This is in news, and there is a central exercise going to get carried out here itself for their population analysis, right? So right now they are vulnerable in IUCN list, right? Appendix 1 of Wildlife Protection Act. Appendix 1 means highest protection, right? And Wildlife Protection Act is going to get amended. There are 6 schedules to it. 6 schedules to it. Schedule 1, Schedule 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Some of them speak about vermin species, some of them speak about the most protected species, some of them speak about other species which can be used for international trade and other things. So they are trying to reduce the number of these schedules. क्यों? क्योंकि आपका काम easy हो, आपको याद करने में easy हो. Of course, इसके लिए नहीं. Right? They're trying to make the laws a little simpler now. Hybrid terrorists. This was in news because the government also has said that hybrid terrorists are creating a problem in India. In reference to J&K, the government is able to know how many terrorists are actually getting trained in Pakistan occupied Kashmir and how many of them infiltrate across and get into our borders. So the government rates around 200 to 300 terrorists which have been trained in Pakistan, and not Indians, they have come to India, terrorists. But hybrid terrorism is a concept which says that they will be utilizing the local force, the youth population, or the people who live in our own society, our neighborhood, and one day they will be indulged into a terrorist activity, and the next day nobody will know if they were into that or not. They will be living their life as peacefully. It's just like sleeper cells, just that they were not embedded there. They are a part of our polity. So this is what is called as hybrid terrorists, right? So Kashmir has witnessed a dozen of hybrid terrorist attacks. It was reverse engineered and found that अरे ये तो बाहर के थे नहीं तो अपने लोग हैं, right? So what is required is multi-pronged approach to improve the situation like this. First of all, emergency measures में retaliation is required, and then overall social grooming is required, right? Providing of better services to people, employment services in the valley. This is only going to integrate and reduce a problem like this in a country like ours, right? There are two major challenges in Kashmir, right? So one is the problem of hybrid terrorism, and the second one is narco terrorism. See, Punjab baat karte the, Punjab and Maharashtra, where most of the evaluation of narco terrorism happens, but Kashmir as well. Why? Because when this narcotics is transferred from Pakistan region to Kashmir region, it is very easy for them to transfer it across the border. Many places it is not manned well from India's side. Many places they use drones to transfer, and after this the sale of the drugs only leads to purchasing of weapons, right? Or utilizing the services of the poor population, right? So hybrid terrorism, remember this. Sarthi app has been introduced to make people like you and me aware of investing in the market, right? So some of us have burnt our fingers. We have burnt our fingers in the market because we didn't know much about it. Now this is going to make us understand more about what is money market, what is the finance market, what is related to education about insurance, right? There are various kinds of insurance, no? Health insurance, life insurance, accident insurance. इसकी knowledge, ये तो real market का हमें तो we are never known in our syllabus. So Sarthi app is going to help make us aware about this. All right. Okay. Exercise Milan, an important exercise which is being hosted by India, and over 45 countries are expected to join this. This is an important thing because India is hosting it. India has the central significance here. India also is at the tip of the Indian Ocean, which is a very good thing for a country like ours, right? Biennial exercises since 1995. So this is going to increase India's stance in the Indian Ocean, right? So do remember the word Milan. So seminar, exchange of information, demonstration of submarine rescue capabilities, right? Expo showcasing Atmanirbhar Bharat, exercises at sea, so much of it will be held. So we will also showcase what we have created. We'll try to sell it to others. India is not a major seller of defense weaponry as of now, but building a rapport with the countries in the Indian Ocean is very important. That's what is happening. 3 editorials, beginning of the nuclear arms race. We will discuss this part with the feature news today, right? The next video after this, we'll discuss this in that, right? So very much overlapping, but an important one. Has India lost its demographic sweet spot, right? So this particular editorial talks about the falling proportion of productivity rate and fertility rate in our country. And because of this, somehow, because of declining productivity rate, the demographic dividend also is not doing as well, right? Now, this dividend is only for a specific time. I'm talking about the first demographic dividend. अब आपको तो पता चल गया ना, second demographic dividend भी है for the elder population. You remember we had discussed this in a feature news. So first demographic dividend is only till the time the youthful population is able to serve, provided one, they are skilled enough, provided they have education enough, provided they are healthy enough. But India has not been able to focus very well on education, health and skills, and this is the reason productivity is going down. Yesterday only we studied, no, in service sector, the per capita productivity is higher as compared to agriculture and manufacturing sector. Productivity rate needs to get high, and decreasing fertility rate also. Now this is where India is expected to ramp up these 3, which creates better human resources, get some skills, get some technology for our country, and this is how we are able to make a better demographic transition, all right, to a mature economy with second demographic dividend, right? This is what it speaks of. The third editorial is on data equity in technology policy. See, mere stating that data is not equitably available means that there is somebody at harm or somebody at advantage. This is the reason that data equity, or somebody had pointed out data governance yesterday, right? Data governance, this becomes important, right? So there has to be a data equity policy where the data is available not only with the tech giants, it is available at a central repository for everybody to use. Either you pay us, either the users of the data, they pay the people from where data has been created. For example, my own telephone, your own telephones, your own purchase bills, all of this is data and people are using it. There are big companies which are using it. The point is that there should be equity in availability of data to everybody, right? Nahi to phir MSME kaise, how will they be able to fight or have a neutral competition with the big players, right? Data equity is what is required for a country like India. This is the reason that we need account aggregation. This is the reason that we need a policy around data equity, right? So this is a philosophical article, but yes, the crux is very important. Do remember this keyword data equity and try to get examples at all the places, right, about data equity, because the future of the world lies in data. Dekho, if you look at I was reading it somewhere, example geo. How is geo created? One of the perspective is, if you reverse your head when you write geo, it says oil. It says oil, geo from here and oil from the top. So data is the new oil, right? Case study of the day. Before we get into this, if you like this initiative, share some love through likes, comments and shares. Your likes are the blessings through which we go ahead, through which we become better in our initiatives. And this is the reason that I seek your blessings here. Case study of the day is on the ambulance couple, right? They're known as ambulance couple from Delhi, and they learned a little harder way. Necessity was the mother of their invention with everybody. So with them, now these people are from Delhi, and the gentleman, the gentleman, Mr. Himanshu here, he faced a very, very terrible situation when his father passed away because of non-availability of ambulance services. He could not afford them. So this is the reason they started ambulance services. They have got quite a number of ambulances, I think 25 ambulances till now. and they are able to provide ambulance services free of cost to all the people residing in the city, right? Now, during COVID times, the government had released the ambulance ka distance. If it is so, you provide them 1,000 rupees. If it is so much distance, provide 2,000 rupees. They did not ask for a penny from people. They said, people are suffering and they need money. Why should we ask for money? I have gone through this time. And this is the reason that they have received awards. I was listening to, one day I was moving in a vehicle, and I listened to their story on one of the radio channels. So people who were COVID warriors, they were awarded with some homes for themselves. This is where I came up with this, and that's why it's here. A very, very motivating story of how these people, ambulance couple, they helped, serving humanity during COVID times. I mean, there are many stories around how they help people, right? So a few of them is just that, good number of ambulance services providing free of cost, helping in the last rites for people. This is what it is about, right? So Delhi Gaurav Honor, International Women Day, right? Nari Shakti Puraskar, they've achieved it, right? Service to mankind is the service to God. Swami Vivekananda. Is it not true? Absolutely. So with the promise that we will serve the nation, with the promise that we will serve ourselves, right? Beginning from ourselves and then building capacity to serve our fellow people and then the nation. We will meet you in the other video quickly, right? So if you like this initiative, share some love through likes, comments and shares. Arshdeep says, do someone have joined Edukemy course? If somebody is from the Edukemy course, she wants to know something about them, please comment back. All right. Then there are other people who are saying something. Let me quickly look at it. Every year in flood map, swamp deer loses. Absolutely, Vakram. Yes, that is an important point. Swamp deer in Assam, they lose life because of the floods in Assam. And it's not just swamp deer. It is a number of one-horned rhinoceros lying around the road. They cannot swim across all the time. And tigers as well. So very well put. Absolutely, Vakram. This is a valid point. Nahi, Swamik, I will tell you the difference between deer and antelope. Antelope, I was talking of that. I'll tell you the difference. All right. Social capital measures. Yes, Mamta, that is the word. Social capital. How to define sleeper cells, Rachit? Picture देखो ना थोड़ा अक्षय कुमार की. वो आई थी ना picture नाम शबाना and baby. उसमें they have defined sleeper cells. I will also speak about it. Let the time be there, I'll speak about them. All right. Second demographic. All right. Fourth industrial revolution, knowledge itself, geo mirror image. Thank you. All right. Thank you, guys. Tiyasha says she has done geography enrichment. You guys talk on the comments, but live comment will get switched off. You can speak on the offline comments. All right. So I'll see you in the next video in 1 minute's time. Thank you for being a part. And we will see you in the next video immediately right now in the world's nuclear proliferation. All right. And yes, of course, today is Friday, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, the day when you revise. If you have not covered certain aspects, do cover them. Look at the videos, prepare quick notes, revise on Saturday, Sunday, speak to your parents, go out or watch a movie, and then we meet again Monday evening. All right. So we meet you quickly in the other video. Thank you for participating. See you. Questions, most welcome. Put them down. Share some love.